Hi, this is Zuba here. Although I did say I'll be ending the league to some extent. Ruthless has kind of been a bit of fun. And although it's a bit of a slog, finding out strategies and ways of progressing is actually interesting. So I've actually kept to it. So I've been playing a bit less than well, a lot less than I used to, but I'm still playing it. So I'm going to briefly run through what I think is also pretty helpful for Ruthless and what I've been doing to also help with map generation and map sustain. So as you can see here, I have a lot of small passives allocated. So 1% increased maps found in your maps. I have all of them. I think it's 23%. And then I also have these. I'm slowly trying to get all of them, which is 3% increased rarity of maps found in your maps. This means that when you have a map drop, there's a very good chance it is a rare or it's a magic or rare. And I have had rare drops before, and it's been helping me get basically my map atlas objectives and atlas points. And one of the things I've discovered as well is when you first start playing Ruthless, make an instant beeline for this thing. So Wandering Path says notable atlas passive skills grant nothing. You don't care, right? Right, you don't need any notables with this strategy. But it does give 20 extra atlas passive skill points. So with that 20 extra atlas passive skill points, you can just get all these small passive nodes that help with your map sustain and with the rarity of your maps. Secondly, what else? I've also done this. I've gone for high smuggler's cash chance, 50%, 50%. And then, so this is altogether 100%. This is another 100, so that's 200. And this is another 150, so that is 350. So I've been consistently getting a lot of smuggler's caches. And why smuggler's caches are crucial, I think, or good, is because it gives you this. I'm basically taking all these quest contracts. I'm just looking for the one where it's the last quest contract where they kill the cat. Basically, I'm looking for that one because that allows me to then clear the whole basically just loot every chest and then run the exit and not do that quest. That's what I hope to do. And if I do that, then I'll basically have a shit ton of chests I can just raid um, every time I get a new what's it called again? Smuggler's Cache. And I've been getting like on average maybe about one Smuggler's Cache every 5 maps. That's not too bad. So that's the Ellis strategy I'm using right now and employing right now to get maps. Right now the build is getting a lot better. Right now, if I look at the DPS for this setup, normal DPS, non-boss DPS, it's probably about 800,000 cold. And then if I look at DPS on, let's say, bosses, which is map bosses, it's 500,000. It's not substantial, but it allows me to go into yellows and do yellows pretty fine. I've done T9s, haven't found a T10 yet, so um, that's cool. So the way this scales is same thing as usual. This is Boneshatter. Boneshatter is really good in Ruthless because Boneshatter essentially has an inbuilt support gem, extra support gem. And the inbuilt extra support gem is more damage per trauma, right? So if you get 10 trauma stacks, it's 30% more damage, and that is essentially like an extra support. It has also good physical damage per trauma, and it has AOE in the form of the pulse. You also have AOE in the form of melee splash, so this as well. So when mobs stack up, let's say you're dealing with mad boss that has multiple bosses, they melt pretty fast, even though if your damage is not substantial, and that's because of this. Oh, maybe because of this. Um, so Bone Shatter, I'm on a 5 link right now. I'm using Hypothermia, Trinity, amount of damage attacks, and Inspiration. Hypothermia is really good because I am running um, a Heat Shiver. So with the Heat Shiver, what's happening is as long as I freeze the target, it takes all the coal I do and gets it adds it as extra 130% fire. So in this case, I'm doing quite a substantial amount of cold because I'm using a Devion's Dirge. So Devion's Dirge is 318 to 499. The physical damage is very low. There is a reason why I'm using Hrim Sorrow. I'll go into that later. But when I did the computation for numbers for damage, Hrim Sorrow kind of edges out in damage because there's a lot of added physical coming from Boneshatter. So specifically because Boneshatter added so much added physical, 142 to 213, and along with the base physical of the Demios Dirge, it almost gives you like 30% more damage just running this glove. So that's the reason why I run a Hrim Sorrows. But also in the case where if I will find a very high fizz damage weapon, I can drop the Demios Dirge. Although to be some extent, the damage is actually pretty strong because the Warcry's knockback and interrupt enemies is pretty good. I've discovered like it cancels bosses in their or map bosses in their channeling attacks, and it does buy you time when you're damaging the boss. The increased movement speed is great as well because you don't really have any movement skills, and I got lucky with this boot, and I'm still using the same one. This is 30% movement speed. 45% movement speed is very important. It's pretty good quality of life, especially in Ruthless because you don't have mobility skills. So yeah. Uh, so yeah, with this combination, I am doing pretty good amount of damage. Oh yeah. I have Carnage Heart, same as usual. Haven't changed this. I have dropped one to Salio Sign and I've dropped it for a Time Class. I'll explain why now. Time Class I think it's like super good for a budget Boneshatter build. Like if you're at least starting Boneshatter and you can find a Time Class is like super good. And the reason why Time Class is super good is that it gives you quite a bit of attack speed, so you can go up to 15%. I have a 14% one here. The other reason for it is, although mine is not well rolled enough for this, but you can also have 20% increased skill effect duration that affects the duration of the Bone Shatter buffs. So that means 20% Bone Shatter buff duration increase means you're gonna have a lot more Bone Shatter stacks on your target as a result. And the third reason, or rather actually there are four reasons. The third reason is that damage taken recoup as mana and recoup as life is going to help you a lot because the physical damage you take being recouped as mana means you don't really have any mana issues. So I actually had mana issues without this ring, right? Because I was attacking to a point where the cost of 10 mana was like pretty substantial, and then I'll just run out of mana, and basically my damage I'll do shitty damage because there's no mana left. With the time class, this doesn't happen because I basically recoup all the damage I take from Bone Shatter, trauma stacks, and I turn that into mana. I mean, it does also give some form of life recoup, which is also helpful. And the last one is that it's unaffected by temporal chains. Doesn't really matter for this build, only because I have Unstoppable. I am 100% going to drop Unstoppable once I get the points for it. So that's like 10 regrets. Really expensive, by the way. 10 regrets here is 30 alchemies. But if I do get to that point, I'll take away Unsolvable. Hopefully, I'll have Determination or Grace by then. Maybe both. I don't know if I'll be able to run that, but probably Determination or Grace. And then I'll have enough like armor for Unbreakable to be useful. So then I'll actually add Unbreakable and drop Unstoppable. Uh, Chest armor is like meh. This is going to be only 500 more armor, but the armor applies to cold, fire, and lightning damage is going to be very helpful in keeping me alive. That's going to make me quite tanky. Comes to the passive tree, I've actually pathed here. I'm gonna get this in my next point, Purity of Flesh. Right now I'm level 85, so 86 I'll have this. I've dropped the cluster. I realized the cluster doesn't really add that much damage in terms of the points. And I'm just better off pathing here and getting Elemental Overload. So Elemental Overload is essentially the same as pathing here and getting Precise Technique. Although Precise Technique has one drawback, you do need enough accuracy for that. And although Jug gets quite a bit of accuracy, you at least need one ring roll or glove roll or helm roll with accuracy, and I obviously can't spare that. So it's the same amount of points to get here for my build as it is to get here, and this is a lot cheaper and a lot easier to get to manage as well. The extra int is great because that helps me level up my elemental weakness, which is what I'm doing right now. All in all, builds somewhere around the same, no massive changes. I have optimized most of my gem links right now. So last time I used around like 3 sockets or 3 links, and now I've kind of optimized it. I haven't gotten a 6 link for this yet, but I think I'm gonna stick to this setup of 4 and 2. The 2 allows me to get so this is Vengeance and Rage. This helps me to generate quite a bit of the Rage because Vengeance procs with my Boneshatter. Then the Rage support means I get Rage for every hit I do Vengeance. Yeah. Ancestral Protector, Culling will just give you 10% more damage effectively. The V8 support doesn't really work, I think. So multiple totems. I also have Ancestral Cry, Molten Shell, and Increased Duration Link. Still using Blood and Sand, Precision, and Purity Elements is my only auras reserved. But when I can afford the points, it'll be parking here, getting the aura nodes, getting the aura nodes here, probably getting Determination, um, maybe even Hatred. I don't know. See how it goes. Um, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'll probably still do a bit more of optimization and playing this. My hope is to get about 2 million cold damage, and then it should cruise all the way to endgame to some extent, be able to clear just the pinnacle bosses, and like Elder Shaper bosses with 2 mil. Uh, but yeah. So that's the progress for Ruthless, and that will be it, I guess. All right, peace. Probably the next other objective as well is to do like lab. So do like Merciless lab, not the Uber lab, just Merciless lab, just for enchants, so I can enchant my boot. Oh yeah, I did get Eldritch Currency, so I got Lightning Rest, which I really needed, so that's great. Physical is extra chaos, it's kind of meh, but still better than nothing. So I'll be enchanting the Hrim Sorrow, the Greaves, and then maybe replacing the Vortex one. We'll see. Alright, I'm done. Peace. See you guys. Bye.